Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana on Monday is confident the Supreme Court will uphold President Rodrigo Duterte's martial law declaration. Lorenzana says a favorable decision is forthcoming because he and Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief Eduardo Año were able to answer the questions of justices about Duterte's martial law proclamation. The President's martial law declaration is on its 42nd day Monday. Since the 1987 Constitution sets a maximum of 60 days for martial law, it will be lifted by July 22, 2 days before Duterte delivers his second State of the Nation address. If Duterte decides to seek an extension, he is required to get congressional approval. Lorenzana says security officials are set to give the recommendation to Duterte on whether to lift martial law or extend it. Lorenzana says, quote, "He has said he will listen to us. Listen to our recommendation whether it will be extended or not. We'll make our recommendation soon." President Rodrigo Duterte creates an interagency task force to take charge of the recovery and rehabilitation of Marawi City, ground zero of clashes between local terrorists and government forces. Duterte on June 28 signed Administrative Order No. 3, creating Task Force Bangon Marawi, but it was only released Monday. Duterte designates Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana as Task Force Chairperson, while Public Works Secretary Mark Villar is Vice Chairperson. The task force is in charge of deploying a quick response team for the needs of people displaced by the Marawi clashes. It is also supposed to conduct a post-conflict needs assessment of Marawi City, where they will base a comprehensive rehabilitation and recovery program. Duterte earlier ordered that 20 billion pesos be set aside for the rehabilitation program. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana says Isnilon Hapilon, the Abu Sayyaf leader and supposed leader of ISIS in Southeast Asia, is still inside Marawi City. Lorenzana cites latest military reports indicating Hapilon has not left Marawi. He adds the terrorist leader is hiding in one of the mosques. The week before, the Philippine Army received reports Hapilon had fled Marawi. But Lorenzana thinks Hapilon is still in Marawi because military assets said the terrorist leader was not among the terrorists who returned to Basilan to flee the ongoing conflict. Basilan is Hapilon's base. The military says civilian residents of Jolo, Basilan, and Marawi are providing information on Hapilon. The large bounty on Hapilon's head has boosted government efforts to gather more information on the terrorist leader's whereabouts. President Rodrigo Duterte earlier offered 10 million pesos as reward for the neutralization of Hapilon. This is on top of the $5 million bounty offered by the United States and will likely be added to a standing 7.4 million peso bounty for Hapilon from the Philippine government. In total, the cash reward for Hapilon's capture or death would be around 270 million pesos. Ilocos Norte Governor Imee would still be able to perform her duties as chief executive of the province should the House of Representatives order her arrest for failure to attend the hearing on her alleged misuse of millions of tobacco funds. A subpoena for her to attend the next hearing on July 25 was previously issued by a House panel. Marcos earlier said she intends to testify in the probe into her alleged misuse of 66.45 million pesos worth of provincial tobacco funds to purchase motor vehicles. But her brother, former Senator Bongbong Marcos, reportedly advised her against it. Sergeant at Arms Roland de Tabali on Monday says Marcos will have access to her gadgets and internet connection in her detention cell. De Tabali says this will allow her to work. Marcos will be detained in the 70 to 80 square meter extension office of De Tabali on the 3rd floor of the House of Representatives main building. The room is fully air-conditioned with a private bathroom. The house will provide her with a solo metal bed with mattress. She may also receive guests from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The Games and Amusements Board, the regulatory body for boxing in the Philippines, files a protest before the World Boxing Organization to review the performance of the judges and referee in the Manny Pacquiao vs. Jeff Horn WBO welterweight title fight last Sunday in Brisbane, Australia. GAB in its protest says, quote, "While we respect the decision, we are constrained to request for a thorough review by the WBO for possible miscalls of the referee, where some deductions were not made, and of the judges in their judging that have caused varying opinions on their objectivity." Horn, a significant underdog, emerged the winner on all three judges' scorecards. Referee Mark Nelson of Minnesota also drew criticism, with some feeling Horn was allowed to get away with roughhousing. GAP Chairman Baham Mitra says Pacquiao did not collaborate with them for the protest, but the Philippine star has quoted Pacquiao as saying he believes he clearly won the fight. Pacquiao says he would exercise the rematch clause against Horn. In support of National Disaster Consciousness Month, Rappler will hold the first ever AGOS Summit on Disaster Preparedness from July 7 to 8 at the Samsung Hall, SM or at the Gig. The summit will gather disaster management experts, stakeholders, and volunteers to talk about how we can all be better prepared for climate change and disasters. Tickets are limited, so register today at agos.rappler.com.